Hello, this is Zankets Watch again, and I want to do a quick pocket recap to our Gorl, who is quickly right now reacting, or I think just commenting on a segment on RT. Scott Ritter, who is an RT commentator, former U.S. Defense official who got busted for trying to arrange a sexual hookup with a minor. He's currently a Russian agent. He's currently working for the Russians, and this unfortunately is quite common among disgraced intelligence officials. Russians have some sort of leverage, whether it be in Scott Ritter's case, his predilection for, you know, being sexually intimate with minors, or in Tara Reid's case, her predilection for being called pretty and beautiful, and her wish to have her ego soothed by being said, by being told, essentially, the reason why your career failed was that you're just too pretty and intelligent, and everybody was jealous of you. Basically, every Russian intelligence uh, useful idiot, every useful idiot, American useful idiot, or useful idiot from around the globe that Russian intelligence uses has some sort of leverage or handle. For Ritter, it's his predilection for his habit of being predatory towards minors. For Caleb Mopen, it was his really weird sexual fetishes and the way he preyed upon his employees and was quite creepy towards his employees. For Anthony Zankis, it's his wish to be seen as an expert who's just simply unappreciated. That's why his career went nowhere, and why he's basically a failure of an adjunct lecturer at the age of 60. For Tara Reid, it's being told that she's pretty and beautiful and intelligent and this and that, and everybody desired her and everybody was jealous of her, and that's why they sabotaged her career. And that's why she, at the age of 60, never had a career. It's not because she never worked or that she was terrible at the work that she did. It's just that she never had a career. All right, I want to look at this current segment from RT.
The FBI and the police have raided the New York home of former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer and current RT contributor Scott Ritter. He addressed his followers on social media platforms, explaining that the FBI has concerns over his link with RT and Russian media outlet Sputnik.
Yeah, let's hope those are the only things the FBI has concerns with for Scott Ritter. I mean, first of all, the man was arrested for trying to meet with a minor for sexual purposes. He's a pedophile. Scott Ritter is a pedophile. He's a sex predator towards minors. Let's hope that the only charge the FBI has against him for Scott Ritter's sake is just a FARA violation. That's what he's saying. But what's later revealed in this segment is that the FBI took his electronic devices. So please, let's just send a blessing out to whatever poor agent is going to be going through those devices. There's going to be some horrifying stuff on those devices. Let's just send a blessing out. Let's just send a prayer because the FBI has taken all his hard drives and they're going to have to go all the way through it.
FBI has executed a search warrant on my home. The search warrant was based upon what they deemed to be probable cause that I am in violation of the Foreign Agent Registrations Act.
He just looks like a creep. I'm sorry, he just has creep vibes. The way he's slouching over, he's not sitting up straight. He's not even putting on like a collared shirt for this interview. He's just, lying seal position on his couch in his dusty room. He looks like such a damn creep. He really does.
And they executed a search warrant looking for electronic devices, my computers, my cell phone, things of that nature.
You are in trouble, pal. You are in trouble because I can already tell, just knowing from your past, that there's not good stuff on those devices.
Based upon their questions, it appears that they are primarily concerned about my relationship with RT and Sputnik.
Well, Scott himself was not detained in the raid, which is the latest in a string of actions targeting the former UN weapons inspector.
Those agents look so bored. You have to understand this is glamorized in Hollywood, but when an FBI agent actually carries out a raid, they do look like that lady in the glasses and the maroon shirt saying, God, I have to sort through all this crap in his car. I'm going to have to sort through all this crap in his garage. I'm going to have to sort through all this crap everywhere. You start realizing when you actually see news footage like this that the FBI has a very unglamorous job.
Back in June, the US State Department seized his passport, taking him off a plane as he traveled to attend the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. It comes as the threat of assassination has been hanging over Mr. Ritter for quite some time.
Oh, please, the threat of assassination? The dude is just a disgraced pedophile. Who's going to assassinate him? They always say that there's a threat of assassination to make themselves seem more powerful than they are. What sphere of influence does Scott Ritter have? What sphere of influence does Tara Reid have? They have nothing. People who are actually important, like Alexei Navalny, are the ones who end up getting assassinated. Like this threat of assassination. No, look at this. This is just a bored woman sorting through the back of the trunk of your car because, first of all, you probably did violate FARA. But second of all, Mr. Ritter, you're a convicted sex offender. You're a convicted sex offender. You try to hook up with minors for sex. The FBI has probably been like, well, this is week 5 of yet another raid on this creep's house. I mean, I do have a lot of pity for them.
After he was added to a notorious Ukrainian kill list for his views on the conflict. Scott says that alternative stance, the US government has.
Let's talk about that Ukrainian kill list because I believe that was debunked. So let's talk about this. Ukrainian kill list. All right. So Tucker Carlson was not put on a kill list in Ukraine. Let's look at this. Okay, so all right. So this what they're talking about the kill list is something called the Mirotvet Center, a non-governmental organization. All right. So this kill list is from a website of the Mitrovet Center, a non-governmental organization that studies threats to Ukraine's national security. Carlson's entry appears as part of the city's Purgatory Project, which tracks individuals the organization deems to have deliberately acted against the national security of Ukraine. The conservative commentator has been added on the project's database since at least June 2023. In addition, Carlson has not been sanctioned by the EU. This is not a kill list. This is not a kill list. What this is, stupid ad. What this is a list by a non-governmental organization that lists people who are a threat to Ukrainian national security. And yeah, I would consider um, Tucker Carlson, Scott Ritter, Tara Reid, to be on that list as a threat to Ukrainian national security, but they're calling it a kill list, which is a clear lie. All right, let's go back.
Has effectively declared war on him.
This is absurd in the extreme. This raid on my home was designed to have a chilling effect, to make me think twice about speaking out, about writing, about doing podcasts. And as I told the
Yeah, right. No one cares about that, pal. Again, oof, there's my AP stuff. Again, nobody cares about that. What they care about is whether you broke the law, and you've broken the law several times. So let's just take a quick look. See, Scott Ritter gets prison in Pennsylvania sex case, October 26, 2011. Former United Nations weapons inspector convicted in online sexting has been sentenced for up to 5.5 years behind bars. Scott Ritter, 50, of Delmar, New York, exchanged explicit messages with a detective posing as a 15-year-old girl, then performed a sex act on himself in front of a webcam. He testified in his defense that he believed the person he met in the Yahoo chat room was an adult acting out her own fantasy, but the Pennsylvania jury convicted Ritter in April 2018. April for 18 months. He was one of the chief weapons inspectors. Alrighty, there we go. So he has been William Scott Ritter, level 1 sex offender, age 60, 230 pounds, 6'4", unlawful contact with a minor. Here we go. This is Scott Ritter. Here we go. This is Scott Ritter, child sex offender, taken from the registry of sex offenders. He served prison time for the conviction. Anyone who publicly promotes this guy should not be trusted around kids either. Hashtag RFK Jr. And I would like to add Mr. Anthony Zankis. Let's actually pull up Anthony Zankis' Twitter account, shall we? Anthony Zankis, April 6, 2022. This is Anthony Zankis. He says, it's BS. Musk is a narcissist and a liar. I mean, he's right about that. They just kicked former UN weapons inspector, real Scott Ritter, off Twitter because he has been allowed an informed voice against the establishment narrative on Russia, Ukraine. So here is Anthony Zankis. Here's Anthony Zankis, a expert on the trauma of sexual assault, an expert on the trauma of CSA, childhood sexual assault, defending a man who's a convicted sexual assault. Excuse me, defending a man who is a convicted sexual predator. You know, I wonder why. Let me just see if that. Here we go. It's BS. Musk is a narcissist and a liar. They just kicked former UN weapons inspector, real Scott Ritter, off of Twitter because he's been allowed an informed voice against the establishment narrative on Russia, Ukraine. April 6, 2022. That is Zankis' most recent profile pic. So he has not deleted his he has not deleted this tweet. He still has this tweet defending at real Scott Ritter. He has not deleted this at all. There we go. All right, now back to the show.
FBI, and I'll tell you now, there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that I'll back down because I'm doing nothing wrong. Today, the United States government declared war on me. They declared war on my ability to write, my ability to speak, my ability to interact with the American people, and indeed.
Dude, I am watching your film clip on my American computer in my American location. You know, you just chill out, calm down. No one's declaring war on you. You broke some laws. You're a convicted sex offender. You're already on the FBI's radar. Yeah, you're gonna get raided. So you know what? Stop chatting to 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds on the web and stop masturbating in front of them. You know, that's a good way to, not get raided by the FBI.
With a broader international audience. So be it. We're at war. It's not a war I plan on losing.
Scott Ritter. Well, another RT contributor, former Senate aide to Joe Biden, Tara Reid, has repeatedly stated she's been harassed by the FBI too, and says there's an
You know, I wonder if the reason why the FBI is harassing her is the same reason why they're harassing Scott Ritter. You know, there's been no charges of sexual misconduct on her part. That's something she accuses other people of doing. But I would like to show this tweet. Here we go. This person, stupid plant dad, who was revealed to be someone named Chris Parsh, who actually lived with her, stated that she harassed him. She harassed him. He said, "Does a 50-year-old woman calling her daughter's friend, a 25-year-old male, daddy, and constantly making comments about the young male's appearance in a predatory way constitute as sexual harassment, asking for a friend who may sue?" And then he tags Silent Muse and Real K Hive Queen Bee. So yeah, this person accused Tara Reid of speaking inappropriately to him. And you know what? I believe him. I believe him because he ended up sharing screenshots, which I hope I saved. He ended up then deleting them, but she did sort of flirt a little bit and had that sort of middle-aged straight woman fascination with young gay men. Some of them have basically talking about like, "Oh, I'm still single, but you still have your boyfriend," or something like that, which is a little inappropriate. It's not really something that you should, talk to about someone else, especially since this person was living with her at the time and she was his landlord essentially. So there was a power dynamic there that wasn't great. So again, there have been some accusations against Reed in terms of her being verbally inappropriate with young men. Um, but and I've seen screenshots that back that up. Uh, so we'll go with that later. I'm going to actually try and find those screenshots. We'll talk about that later. In the meantime, let's go on with this clip.
an ongoing witch hunt for Americans who hold a different point of view.
He spoke out against the war in Iraq and revealed that the U.S. government lied about the weapons of mass destruction. He spoke out. George Galloway famously spoke out, and he was a whistleblower. He has been a whistleblower, and then he was put in prison for charges that he was
why was he put in? Oh, see, this is why she's such a bad commentator, because they're trying to push one type of narrative. They're pushing the narrative that Scott Ritter spoke out against the American regime, and that's why the American regime is harassing him with FBI raids, blah, 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 blah. And she talks about him being going to jail. And they're not supposed to mention that because he went to jail for masturbating in front of a minor. He went to jail for a sex offense. He went to jail for being predatory with an underage person. And she's not supposed to mention that. And the fact that she mentions that and then suddenly sort of, tries to wobble a little bit and, go backtrack a little bit. This is why she's such a bad propagandist.
Whistleblower. And then, he was put in prison for charges that
Why? Talk about the charges.
he was, convicted of. And he did his time. He's served his sentence. So I don't think it's related to
For charges, and then she said, for charges that he was convicted of. I mean, she's so bad at this. You're not supposed to talk about that, Tara. That's not what you're getting paid for.
that sentencing at all. I think, again, it's just a pattern of what you're seeing in the United States, which is the surveillance state, an authoritative government that, we have the illusion.
More buzzwords. See, she's so terrible at that Miss Geopolitical Expert. She's just going off like Twitter buzzwords, TikTok buzzwords.
Of free speech. We have that illusion of a right to travel, but in reality, it's only a
You defected to Russia and then you came back to the US despite saying you were in danger in the US, and you are still in the US, not arrested, nothing like that. And you actually think that the US is somehow a worse surveillance state than Russia? Let me tell you, Alexei Navalny is dead. You're on a Russian Kremlin program that does not allow any dissent whatsoever. And I am an American watching you on my American computer spew all this garbage about America, and you say you're being oppressed? This is ridiculous.
Loud if we say what the, United States wants people to say. Otherwise, you're at risk.
She's describing Russia. Here's the thing. You're not oppressed if the FBI raids you after you were caught masturbating in front of a minor. It's not oppression. That's just simply simple decency in the law being applied where the law has to be applied. This is ridiculous. I'm saying Scott Ritter did that. There's no accusation that Reed ever did anything like that. Just that one accusation by a young man named Chris who used to live with her, who said that she was verbally inappropriate with him.
Say that unfortunately the intelligence cabal has really.
And she uses the word cabal because that's sort of a dog whistle for anti-Semitism. The word cabal to mean a group behind the scenes that influences the government. That comes from the word Kabbalah, which is a type of Jewish mysticism. So when you say cabal, not only are you saying a group that's, conspiring to do bad things with the U.S. government and is working the U.S. government behind the scenes, you're also very subtly implying that this group is Jewish. So that's why she says cabal and not like the elites or the globalists. Now, those were also anti-Semitic buzzwords, but they weren't quite as obvious. Cabal is much more obvious because it literally comes from a word that is derived from a group of Jewish mystics, Kabbalah.
Taken over the United States government. And I think you have seen that pretty clearly just in the recent events around the 2024 election.
The FBI.
Yeah, they're all pissed that Joe Biden dropped out. Now they're realizing that Trump may not win, and Kamala Harris can't really be pushed around the way Joe Biden can. She's going to be tougher on Israel. Well, she's going to be tougher on Netanyahu. I think she's going to like preserve the allyship of Israel, but Netanyahu and his far right people need to step down. They're not good. All right, I'm not going to get sidetracked there. I just thought that was really fun, so I decided to do a quick react. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time, whenever that may be. I'm a bit busy at the moment, but thank you so much for joining me.